Hello, this is Kathryn Ridall. Welcome to video 3 of Dreaming in a Time of Pandemic. Today I'm going to share with you the work that a woman named Tara Collins and I did on a dream of hers. Tara is 43 years old. She lives in Colorado. She works as a birth doula. She's available to help women with nutritional and emotional issues before birth and after birth. She also goes through the birth process itself with women. Tara is the mother of a 12-year-old girl, a 17-year-old son. During this time of pandemic, she's been sheltered at home with those 2 teenage kids, her husband, and their dog, their cat, their tortoise, and their black rabbit. This has been quite a time for them. When I asked Tara how she generally had done during the pandemic at home, she said that she had enjoyed it, that she has really liked being around her kids who are usually out and about with their friends or doing activities. So it's been a precious time of being able to be with them. This dream was a dream that she had 6 weeks into sheltering at home. The dream is called 3 Rabbits. I'm going to read it to you. I walk out in my yard to our rabbit hutch and find our black rabbit in his hutch along with 2 other rabbits. I have no idea how they got there. They look different. One stands out as a white rabbit with brown spots. They are all in the hutch together, content, cohabitating. I don't mind that the other 2 are there, but feel perplexed as how they got there. So this is a dream that has a fairly simple, that has one image that dominates the dream, and that is the rabbits, the 3 rabbits in the hutch. Usually there's 1 rabbit, suddenly there are 3. When I asked Tara what her association with rabbits, what those associations are, she mentioned 2 major associations. One is that both her mother and her grandmother, and now she herself, have all kept rabbits. So rabbits are very connected to her with the female lineage in her family, with nurturing and taking care of animals, with the feminine as it creates connection with other beings. She also connected the black rabbit that's in this dream with the black rabbit that they now have. This rabbit that she has now is one that she doesn't feel as close to as she has to other rabbits. It's a black rabbit, which she's never had before, and it's also a male. She says that she has kind of an uneasy feeling that this rabbit is wilder than some of her rabbits have been, and that she has this feeling that he should be let run loose. And in fact, every day she goes out, she takes him out of his hutch, and she puts him in a pen where he can run around and have more freedom. But she does have this feeling about him, an uneasy feeling that he should have more freedom. So her associations to the rabbit were very different. One was of feminine connectedness and of the feminine tradition of relationship in her family. The other was of a wild creature that needs to be in nature more and not so connected to human beings. Notice that these associations are very different from one another, and that is the beauty of our dream imagery. They can carry associations and feelings that seem quite opposite. Our dream imagery is rich and is full of surprises. After I asked Tara about these associations, about her associations to rabbits, I asked her how she felt in the dream. Just as I've indicated in the first 2 videos, it's very important to find out, like, what were you feeling in the dream? What were you feeling when you woke up? Tara said that she felt very neutral in the dream. She was a little perplexed how the rabbits got into the cage, but basically she felt neutral. When I asked her how the rabbits felt being caged together, 3 of them in one hutch, she said they seemed contented, they seemed like they were doing fine, that they were kind of neutral too. So the feelings that she reported initially were a kind of neutrality, calmness. Although those were the feelings that she was talking about, I felt that this image had a lot more depth to it that we weren't quite getting to. So I suggested to her that we try to do a technique called Gestalt with the images of the three rabbits in a cage. When you work with the Gestalt, you assume that every image in the dream is part of you. Our dreaming self has created a script, and each character in the script was created by our dreaming self and has a certain meaning and represents a certain part of our personality. When you work with doing a Gestalt of an image, you talk in first person and in present tense. You become the character that you're trying to explore more deeply. This technique allows you to embody and to sink into the emotions and the experiences and the thoughts of the particular character you're exploring. So, as I said, we began this with Tara feeling like there was a lot of neutrality in the dream, that the rabbits were kind of contented and neutral. She, as the observer, was curious how it happened that they were all in the cage, but basically she was feeling pretty neutral too. Well, when she began to do a Gestalt with the black rabbit, and she chose the black rabbit, there was no doubt in her mind that that was the character she wanted to work with first. When she became the black rabbit, when she allowed herself to speak as the black rabbit, a whole other set of feelings emerged. She found that she was feeling caged and cramped and confined, that the black rabbit felt sad, that the black rabbit felt lonely and isolated. These were very, very strong feelings that came up. She said that she could feel these feelings in the core of her body. They were powerful. So in the process of working with this image, she moved from a position of neutrality to very strong feelings of isolation and being confined. As we explored these feelings that the black rabbit had, she was able to see and to own her own feelings, that beneath the kind of neutrality that she has cultivated in this time at home, there's a storm of feelings that are different. Yes, she really has enjoyed the time with her kids, but she has had to create a kind of calm and a neutrality and a peacefulness so that her family and her clients can do well during this very stressful time. She's distanced from her own feelings as she's tried to make life better for the people that she's responsible for. So you see that in this image, there's the feminine tradition of taking care of and nurturing, and how she's done that during this time by creating a stance of sort of grounded neutrality, but that underneath she has more the experience of the black rabbit, who is a wild creature who is confined and who is feeling sad and isolated and who is feeling cramped. When we talked about this image, we also noticed that there are three rabbits, and she had mentioned that there are three roles that she's playing at home. She's the mother, she is the wife, and she is also a healer and a counselor who is working with her clients online and on Zoom and on Skype. So we notice that these three roles are very well represented by the three rabbits who are in a hutch, who are kind of crowded together in a hutch. And she did say that she does feel that at home now, that there are these roles that she plays, and there's not much space between them. Because Tara was able to delve so deeply into her feelings, I thought it might be useful to look for an image of what could heal those feelings of confinement and of loneliness and sadness. Now, when you're working with your own dreams, you don't want to move too quickly. When we have a dream, we want to sit with the imagery, we want to understand what it's about, like why are we dreaming it? Tara was able to go so quickly and deeply into what she was feeling that we were able to move on to another part of working with the dream, and that is how to move forward, how to use that imagery of the dream to move forward in life. I asked Tara to visualize an image that would help to heal and to balance out the feelings of being lonely and cramped and isolated. She immediately saw herself and felt herself stretched out on her side on the ground. And we both thought, oh, this is very much like the reclining Buddha. Stretched out, muscles elongated, nothing cramped. When we left our work together, she had a clear sense of the dream imagery of the rabbit. Now, if she hadn't had such a complete experience with the one black rabbit, we might have done the same kind of gestalt for each of the 3 rabbits that we might have done it with the cage. I am the cage. I hold in these wild creatures. In this case, we only needed to do 1 image because it was so strong. When you're working with your own dreams, you want to write down in your dream journal the gestalt of the character you're working with. If there's a conflict in your dream, you can use this same technique. You can become each of the characters that's in conflict, and you'll get a better sense of the different parts of yourself that are in conflict. I called Tara a week later, and I asked her, well, how are you doing? Has the dream continued to unfold? She told me that it had, that she had become very focused on the word wildness and the experience of wildness. That in our work, she saw that even though she had really loved being with her family, she also had felt so over-domesticated, and that the experience of the wild rabbit being confined had been powerful for her, and the antidote, the experience of stretching out and elongating, had helped her to move forward. I asked her specifically what she had done that was based on the perceptions or the insights that she had in our work together, and she said that she had taken out her bicycle and begun to ride it. And I want to read to you how she described her bicycle riding. I'm riding through town, out into the countryside. It feels free, carefree. It feels fast and windy, light and fun. I almost feel like laughing, especially when I'm going downhill. I feel like I'm in touch with my younger self, college age, wilder and less domesticated. I also feel more in my body, more in touch with muscles that have been dormant. So you can see that she acted on the images of the dream, both the images of the suffering and confinement and the images of the antidote, the needing to stretch out. When you work with your own dreams, you can do the same thing in your dream journal. You can do the gestalt, and then you can think of an image, a vision of yourself that brings healing to the image of the dream itself. Thank you for being with me. I hope you enjoy your exploration of dreams in your dream journal. Be well during this time of pandemic. Thank you.